Hello everyone, this is Instructor AK from EK Technology. Today we'll be covering the Cisco Certified Network Associate Chapter Default Routes. How we can work and define configuration with the default routing. So Cisco default gateway routes, which is known as the gateway of the last resort, is used the following forwarding packets and also whose destination address does not match any route in the routing table. In IPv4, the CID, the notation for a default route is 0.0.0.0. Okay, as you can see over here, I have one diagram that I have designed for you guys to be able to view on it the default routes, where I have a switch and router here, and I have a designed 3-host computer, and my internet, the routes comes from all the way to my route, but I don't have any destination to go. So that's the reason I have to configuration the IP route 0.0.0, 0.0.0, and my serial interface, which is the next hop, will be following onto the next step. That's what you call the default routes. As you can see over here, I have opened a Cisco Packet Tracer Instructor Lab for you to be able to see it so that you can practice in your home the Cisco Packet Tracer. So today's chapter, we're going to cover it up, default routing. So I'm going to type it over here, default routes. Okay, so first of all, as the same thing, the last the class we have seen that we have to assign the IP address which the router and also with the computer. So as you can see right now, I have assigned all the IP address to my interface, and also that that computer, they have configured IP address as well. So now I have to see router 1, my routing table, what's in there. So IP route. Right now, if you can make it a little bigger, as you can see that I have only 10.0.0.0 and 40. So I have only 2 IP address that I know, which is 10 and 40, which is this part, but I don't know this part. Okay, so what I can do, I can assign the default route to router 1 and also router 2. But what happened, I can also I cannot default routing to my router 2. I cannot configure it over here because it has a 2 access from there and from here, okay, which is 50 dot and 40 dot. So for that purposes, that what we have to do, if I can explain to you more in very easy and short way, that we have to assign the default router 1 and router 2 so that we communicate, they will communicate with each other with their own way. Okay, but for the purpose of number 2 router, we have to assign as a static IP route. So now we can see our IP route, show IP route for the number 2, which is, it has only 20, 40 and 50, but it don't have 10 and 30 IP address. So we have to assign it, which is IP route 10.0.0.0 and our subnet mask. And from the via, as I mentioned to you last classes, that what do you mean by via? So to reach this IP address 10.0.0, you have to have a via, which is our via 40.0.0.1, or you can even use interface serial 0/0. Okay, whichever way. So I'm gonna put over here the serial 0/0/0. Okay, hit enter, and we have to assign 30. Okay, now I'm gonna change this pattern, and I'm gonna erase it, and I'm gonna type over here the via, which is 50.0.0.2. Okay, you can do either way, hit enter. Okay, so now if I can go Control Z and show IP route, we want to check in our routing table that whether if it's perfectly went through. Okay, so now as you can see, we have statically assigned 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so now these two we have to assign the default route. Okay, so let's go and do it. G. So now we're gonna type here IP route. Okay, so the code of the default route, as I mentioned to you earlier on, which is always, because you don't know the IP address, so that route should be the 0. Okay, 0.0.0.0, subnet mask 0.0.0.0, and the via, which via it's going. So it's going the via serial interface 0/0/0, serial interface 0/0/0. Hit enter. Okay, that's our default route, which is implemented here, and we have assigned successfully our default code for router 1. Now we're going to go to router 2, which is IP route. Same thing, the code is 0.0.0.0 because we don't have any IP address, and subnet mask, same thing. And the via, last router 1 I have showed you the via serial interface 0/0/0. You can even use the via, which is 50.0.0.1. So I'm going to show you whichever way you want to turn up to and use your default routing. Okay, so I'm going to use 50.0.0.1. Okay, and you hit that. Okay, guys, that's how we use default routes to be able to use our topology. Any kind of industry job you are working, right? You're working doctor office, law office, any kind of farm, anywhere you work. That's how you assign your default routing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go Control Z to check my routing table, whether we successfully assign the default routing or not. Okay, so show IP route. So can you ever see? Oh yes, as you can see, S and then star, and star is stand for over here candidate default, which means that gateway of last report this one network, so which is successfully defaultly assigned this one, which is order 2. And if we go to check here, Control C, show IP route. Yes, guys, as you can see, same thing is star. So whenever you see that star, which is mean that gateway the last resort. Okay, so means that you're successfully defaultly you assign your IP address. Okay, well, I'm sorry, the default the code, which is 0.0.0 and 0.0.0 for subnet mask. Okay, so this is the whole topology about the default routing, how you implement default routing, your job, industry, your home, wherever you work. If you're working as a the network assistant network engineer, the manager will give you work. Hey, Tom, Harry, or John, can you do default routing to this accounting department or HR department? And that's how you assign everything over here. Okay, So please keep it on practicing over and over again. That's how you learn, default routing. So basically, if I can briefly explain to you about the default routing mode, which is a computer network, the default route is a setting on a computer that defines the packet forwarding rule to use when no specific route can be determined for a given internet protocol, okay, which is IP destination. All packet for destination not established in the routing table are sent via default route. Okay, so that's how you send, the default route. So that's how it works. Okay, so we have checked everything with each and every, the table. So now we're gonna check the ping. We're gonna ping from 10.0.0.2 to 30. Let's see if we can share our data or not. Okay. So you can use a ping way or a command prompt, or I want to check from send a message like this way. Shows fail. We want to try again. So as I mentioned to your last video, that you have to try a second time. So when you try a second time, you'll be able to see it that's successful. Okay. So let's go to check 20.0.0.2 to 30. Successful. This one here. We're gonna try again. Successful. Successful. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and I really appreciate it. With your patience and everything, please do keep practicing over and over again. Feel free to contact me for any such as doubt or anything. Okay, I'll be able to help you. Don't worry about it. And thank you very much for being with EK Technology with the instructor AK. Thank you very much.